his mic's on, so.
Yeah, Dodger, that's you, man. Put in your hands.
Gnashes, fuck off!
Oh, it's starting.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright. Shit. And we're back with Tac-Com now.
Me too.
Everybody. CJ's here. He wasn't here last season with us. He's retro types, and yeah, I know there's a typo in his name on the overlay.
Son of a bitch.
Redder types.
What's up, guys?
Alright, so we'll start by just going through all the information we've got so far, answer questions if there's any viewers to ask questions, and we'll see where things go from there.
Did you say if there's any viewers?
Yeah.
There are 7 people watching this right now.
Okay.
Hey, hopefully things will go a little better once we figure things out. Yeah, and I accidentally closed out of the chat too.
I'm actually just looking at the chat.
Okay.
Hello, Burnout Cog. Welcome to Tac-Com.
So, let's start out with how we feel about Black Tusk taking over and how they've been involved in the community. Who wants to start?
Well, considering the fact that Epic was just gonna literally let Gears rot on the shelf for like ever, you know, I think pretty good. You know, at least we're gonna get more stuff.
They're doing more than
They
Epic was.
can't do worse than Judgment. That's and they have to do something good.
And it begins.
They can't screw up that badly. They have to do something right. If they listen to what people say and learn from the Epic's mistakes.
Yeah.
Right, here's a 3-hour campaign and there's only one multiplayer map and it's only for Overrun.
Impressive.
I feel Black Tusk did a really good job when they first opened up the forums of talking with us and stuff, but recently there's been like no posts by them, which is sort of unfortunate. And I haven't really seen any activity on Twitter either.
I think it's been pretty on and off. Not a whole lot. I mean, they're definitely like reading everything, which is really good. As far as like actual discussion is concerned, I can understand why they're not being too open about it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously still really early. But as far as just kind of being like, oh hey, hello, we're here. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy. I couldn't complain really.
I think they had. I looked on Twitter. I think yesterday or the day before, but I know that they were doing like an ask them session kind of thing on Twitter, where you like tweet the hashtag like ask Microsoft Vancouver or whatever. Because they used to be Microsoft Vancouver, so they had that, and so people were asking them questions, they were answering that. So that was pretty good. I didn't read it because I had other stuff to do, but you know.
Yeah. As far as the forums go, Jack was really involved when they first launched. I know they're probably reading stuff right now. It would be really nice if they could come in and just like post every once in a while on there, like comment on threads and show that they are actually reading stuff. You know?
More or less, just show the community that they are listening and actually paying attention to what people are saying, even if they don't take everything into consideration. They are seeing what the community thinks.
I think that's what the broadcast did.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to consider, like, I go on other forums a lot, and they have tons of employees that they can have post all the time, but they're still hiring people, so who knows how many employees they have time to spare to go on the forums when they're prototyping a game.
When they're building their office, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they said that they have a community manager, but they haven't
Yeah, Jack's been filling the role until they show up. I believe.
Yeah, they've been
I think
filling out the paperwork for the community manager.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll see.
When that person.
We'll probably see a big push on the forums, like once that's all finalized and stuff, and they'll introduce
that's what I
the
think as well.
CM and stuff. All right. Well, speaking of the broadcast, let's talk about everything they said in there. First thing that was mentioned, Jack's a woman.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But yeah, I do actually have a list of pretty much everything that was talked about in there.
I know Miss A had it somewhere on the forum somewhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I got my list from.
Roger got mentioned.
Yeah, Dodger
Yeah.
got mentioned. Let's see. So, for current games, they are supporting them through game types and the event calendar, but they're not doing title updates or DLC or anything.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I don't think we definitely don't need any DLC for Judgment, and like I would prefer them doing like working on the next thing than going back and working on Gears 3, because
Yeah.
I think the time has passed.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, I don't have the chat open because I accidentally closed it. So if anyone is typing anything, feel free
Well,
to.
Miss A wants us to discuss how terrible Judgment was.
No,
No.
no,
Well,
not
Pretty sure we did that for like 10
Yeah.
episodes
We did that.
a few months
we
ago.
did that for a while.
Go watch season 1.
I don't think there's much left of that horse to beat.
I think we're all just kind of in agreement that, I mean, there were some good things and there were a lot of very poor things,
Yeah.
and that's basically all that needs to be said.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
play the game anymore, so I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. I know
Yeah.
Gnashes doesn't play it anymore.
I don't play it anymore.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It will have been a year next week since I put that game on my console.
I played
played
the
the
game.
game.
I played a lot of Free For All, and I personally really enjoyed most of the balance in the game, and that's about all I have to say about it.
Okay.
I replay the campaign every once in a while because yeah, and also I replay Aftermath a lot. I really like Aftermath. That was really good. So I play that a lot. So
Translation: Sid replays the campaign to make sure he didn't miss like a poster hidden behind a desk under a chair somewhere.
yeah,
Yep.
He also wants to make sure that whenever he posts on the forums, he isn't talking out of his ass.
Never.
Let's see. Next thing in the broadcast was them saying, "Yeah, we're listening to the community," which I guess we just sort of covered there.
Yay!
Forums are linked to gamer tags. So
Right.
Gnashes, I think it was you brought up a point earlier before the show about that. How
Yeah,
you want to see
one
people
thing-
banned.
One thing I would love for them to do are the trolls that join the forums strictly to troll and be dumbasses and post things that are guaranteed just to start flame wars.
Mr. Ed.
If you get banned from the forums, ban them from the games. And they're
And
obviously
vice
not.
versa.
I mean, they obviously don't care about like contributing to any kind of constructive criticism or commentary. So why should they be able to, enjoy the game? They're going to be an asshole to the community. They can do it somewhere else.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's brilliant.
I was also thinking about how, like, if someone actually gets, does something stupid in game, God forbid, they actually are not able to do that either, unless they go through like more official means, like actually contacting a company or whatever.
You guys are really harsh on this. Like my thing is just ban them from the forum, and like it doesn't matter to me about like if they get banned from the game. Like
Well, you don't play multiplayer.
Well, it would give people fewer reasons to come on the forums and be dumb.
Yeah.
If they
I
knew
mean-
that being dumb there would get them banned from the game, they might reconsider.
Yeah.
might.
If it stops 1 in 10 people, they win.
Or
No.
people would just use
Kind
a
of person.
different account.
That too.
All right. Next thing, they're at a new studio now, so they talked about
Canada.
yeah,
Oh, Canada.
they've got a whole new way of
I think Canada
looking
might
at this, looking at stuff now. Because people used to have the mindset of, okay, this is what Gears is. Now they've got this new studio, and people are looking at things a whole new way. So there could be a lot of innovation there.
Well, I don't want to see too much innovation again, otherwise we'll have another Judgment.
Yeah, one of the things that was really peculiar about the Rodcast in regards to the fact that it's a new studio and all this, that I thought was really interesting was how they kept talking about canon, obviously, and this obviously
Yeah.
goes back to Sid here, where they kept talking about established canon in the games, and they kept, saying that they wanted to keep it as close to the games as possible, like that are already out, the established canon.
Yep.
So, just me, or am I the only person who finds that like really interesting as far as what the future of the game is?
I find it a little bit disconcerting, but then again, Rob has always had that mentality where it's like fun over canon, and yeah, he would definitely stick with the canon of the games, and because the books are just secondary stuff, you can totally see him ignoring like a bunch of stuff. But god damn it, I hope he doesn't.
Well,
God, I'll burn the wiki down.
I'm way more focused on like the part where he says that he wants to stick to established canon, which makes me think like the future of the game is not that canon, but a retelling of it, and that they're actually going to change things.
I'm pretty sure the fact that he mentioned canon at all and trying not to break it shows that he's gonna break something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Whether or not he goes, it's a retelling or not, like, but either way, that means they're already planning to break something.
One thing I could really see is them doing stuff like where they bring out the Marxa or the Bushka or Breach Shot, and like, oh, they found a huge weapon stash somewhere. Which,
and like, I'm not talking about like multiplayer. Like multiplayer, I don't think they should even worry about canon. They should just put whatever the hell they want in the multiplayer.
Yeah,
I agree with
has
that.
always bothered me about canon and multiplayer nonsense.
The whole Epic Gears 3 thing.
If the game is in the freaking like a prequel to the damn Pendulum Wars, I don't care if there are Locust and freaking Mark II Lancers in it, because it's gonna make the multiplayer fun.
Yeah. But
like, as far as the campaign is concerned in the actual game universe, I thought it was really interesting.
Yep.
You want to get into that discussion, since we're on the topic already? Like
the canon. And
no, like you want to do campaign? Like
I do have a.
You gotta have a section for that?
Yeah, I've got a section for that.
Let's keep on the Rodcast stuff. I was just saying because it was part of it.
Alright.
He said that he likes the Berserker fight.
I think a lot of people like that fight.
I liked it. I liked the Lambent one too in Gears 3.
Yep.
I think some of the boss fights that they have are sort of lacking, but I really would like to see them step it up on some of the boss fights.
I thought like Judgment's boss fight, I thought that was pretty good. Like, all things considered. But it's been like the same thing. Like Judgment's boss fight was pretty much essentially almost similar to Gears 3's final boss, which so it wasn't that interesting.
I thought it was better than
A little bit different. I thought it was better.
I thought it was better than Gears 3, but
the issue with Judgment's boss fight is that I thought it was too easy, to be honest.
yeah, it was pretty easy.
It felt really weird. I don't know. Something about that boss fight was just so strange.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you
But
were
like
fighting a
visually
cripple,
and
so-
stuff, it was pretty badass.
I don't know.
Well, you were
what to
fighting
do.
technically a cripple, so
Yeah, I don't know what to do to the boss fights, but I definitely think they need to be better than they are.
Shout out to the Ram Shadow boss fight though.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, like when he said the Berserker fight, like maybe it's just me, but I didn't consider that a boss fight. Like a mini boss maybe, but like the boss fight to me is the final boss.
Yeah.
Because like their other bosses to me weren't boss level quality. Like the Berserker was cool, but
I think it was more like the first time you ever saw that Berserker, what that meant. Like,
And it made you
obviously,
think differently.
towards Gears 3 and stuff, Berserkers were kind of like pushovers, right?
the Lambent one was good. I like that boss fight.
Well, yeah, but like just like regular Berserkers, like
yeah.
Nord or something, kind of felt like pushovers at that point, where because you're so used to fighting them, you got a Scorcher and all this stuff. Like it just felt very like it's been done a million times. But the very first time you saw Berserker, like that moment, I think was what he was trying to capture.
I think the thing that they did well with some of the boss fights was it wasn't just shoot it in the face. It made you think differently and play differently. Like the Lambent one, you had to shoot it in the chest and dodge the emulsion behind it. But the original Berserker was like, oh, you have to make it run into these walls so we can get it outside. It made you play very differently than you previously had to play. I really like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright. Next thing on the list was, he mentioned Tinkerbell. Congratulations, Dodger.
It's gonna be a game type in the next years, I'm telling you. Gonna be.
I'd play it.
But
I
my
wanted to
cannon. It breaks my cannon.
Yeah, it's not canon, man.
It's multiplayer.
Unless,
Man, that Tinkerbell will be visible in the campaign.
if it's like a Locust campaign, like someone like Rom Shadow type of thing.
I want to see some locusts kicking around a ticker in the hollow.
Yeah, peek through a doorway, open the little crack, and just see him kicking a ticker.
I can see the cog capturing a ticker. It's like playing hot potato with high explosives.
I mean, remember in Gears 3 whenever you look through the little window and they were like the tickers and shit like fighting each other? I want to see it like you look and it's like a tennis court or something and they're kicking tickers over it.
Alright, the last thing mentioned in the broadcast was the fact that they're not going to be doing them crazy often right now because there's not much to talk about.
Well, yeah.
Which is...
Well, yeah.
Hey man, that goes hand in hand with us.
Yeah. I mean, that's good because they're not just going to be like blowing smoke, but I sort of wish they would do them like every 2 weeks or something. Just
Well, I think this broadcast was just like, yeah, we're here. We're like, told us like
We're
what they're
here. It's a
told where
thing.
they are, and we're busy. So
yeah, I want to see
It's
them answer
very-
some of the fun questions though, because there are a lot of like fun questions to ask.
We
It's
still never
very
have
telling.
an answer to the Adam Phoenix Retro phone question.
Retro
Say that.
phone.
Phone is
If
winning
that's
on
not
my
an
poll.
Easter egg in the next game,
Yeah,
I'm going
Phone
to
is
be
winning in the
very
poll?
disappointed.
Phone is winning in the poll by like 10 votes last time I checked. Yeah.
we'll see right now.
Yeah, pull that up. Alright.
So
The next topic is
Wait.
what?
Last, you missed one.
What?
He showed concept art.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing that in. Yeah.
well, 20 by 4.
It's winning by 4 now.
Do the same thing with Bulletstorm. I like remembering something right.
Yeah. So, do you want to have a guess of what it is?
It looked like a landscape.
Yeah, it was a landscape.
Do you think?
Desert-ish.
Do you think it's like a campaign landscape or a multiplayer landscape?
Yeah,
That's- yeah, that's the biggest thing people have been debating.
Well, clearly the game is going to multiplayer only, so they would show off a multiplayer map.
It looks like campaign to me. It's got mountains way in the background. It looks like.
Yeah, I imagine.
It looked like concept art of like some destroyed buildings or some shit. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I don't think it's
It
really
just
like
looked like
campaign or
literally a
multiplayer.
landscape of some sort.
It's
I'm
like
with Pro Adrian. It's the inside of Rod's beard.
there we go.
Alright, cool.
All right. So let's estimate where they are in production, what they're doing now, that type of stuff.
About 120 days in.
Yeah, they're 4
Yeah,
months
didn't they
in.
say they've been in development for like 3 months?
They're 4 months in now.
Yeah, so they probably haven't got anything solid and concrete
I
done
think
yet. It's probably
they're-
still a lot of like modeling, planning.
They were still looking for a bunch of artists a little while ago, like,
They still are, I think.
Yeah, they still are.
which it's a bit disconcerting considering that like all like the artwork and all that stuff, that all the characters like design wise and everything was created by like 2 guys at Epic, pretty much.
Yeah.
And neither of those guys are over at Black Tusk, which even for
I
judgment
don't
wise,
think that's a good thing.
even for judgment wise, all the artists did were like People Can Fly. All those artists did like the stuff for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, does that
I
mean it's
think-
gonna look? What's the look of it gonna be like now?
I think Gears needs to be a little bit more refreshing, and I know this is going back a ways, but Gears is a bit too dude bro.
It is.
The males are way too muscles.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the end of Gears 3, when Anya puts her hand on Marcus's hand, it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just keep in mind,
I love the atmosphere.
this thing is
Atmosphere is
supposed
amazing.
to be on 1 scale, and this is my face. This is it's so. Hey, for comparison,
Is
this
Gnashes'
is the
picture frozen?
controller.
Yep.
Sid,
That's
I
my
think
picture
yours.
frozen.
I think everyone's is frozen except mine.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dodger's
You're gonna see
good.
you waving around with a gigantic gun.
Dodger and me are good. All right, 1 second.
Yeah.
Everything's
This
good
is
to me.
this thing. This is a controller. Keep it in
I'm
mind.
still frozen, right?
It's
Yeah.
still pretty freaking big.
It's okay. I wasn't doing anything anyways.
But yeah, like, I love the atmosphere in Gears. That's always been, like, a really big thing to me with the game.
Yeah.
I really like the atmosphere and the buildings and the architecture and art and stuff, and I just loved that. But as far as the actual, like, character models are concerned, I don't dislike their design. Like, if you look at concept art for, like, Anya in Gears 3, like, it was badass.
Yeah.
But, like, whenever you look at it in-game, it doesn't look it just doesn't look gritty enough, I guess. Like, the face motions aren't right. Judgment was a lot better about this, by the way. I thought Judgment actually looked really good.
Mm.
There's some things about it that were just kind of strange. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah.
They all seem a bit too short and too wide. If they could just be, like, maybe the same height and a tiny bit thinner, I think it would be better. Because they're ginormous.
They are. All right.
So like if you like, just by going by like something like comparing like Coltrane to like Jace, like Jace,
Yeah, like, Jace looks normal.
Jace, Prescott,
The Carmines look normal except for
Right.
Clay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
Even, like, classic Marcus looks pretty good in Gears 3.
Jeez, I don't know what is up with my camera for Biz and, or not Biz, Sid and Ashes.
Whatever.
Right.
I'm here.
All right. Anyways,
I think one of the things you have to consider when they were making these characters, though, is, you know, Unreal has been doing, or they've been doing Unreal Tournament, and, you know, a lot of them in there were kind of, you know, the same kind of concepts.
Yeah, they're pretty
So
big.
yeah.
when they went Gears, they're like, oh, let's just go off what we know, you know, big beefy dudes go and shoot guns.
Yeah, but, like,
We'll bring that
I
Gears
think
again
that's
on
okay. But as far as actually, like, the fact that they have new artists and things, I would like to see that be changed just a little bit. Like,
Definitely.
don't mess with the actual art style,
No,
and the
yeah.
atmosphere, and all that stuff. Like, don't mess with the colors, don't mess with any of that. But as far
Maybe
as
a
the
little
actual
darker.
models, just thin them out just a little bit.
hmm
I don't know, that's just a really random thing to really bug.
Where they are in production, where do you think they are as far as the story goes? Do you think they have a time frame set yet? Like a period that they're in?
I would
Maybe.
hope so, but at the same
I-
time, I could see them switching it around.
Somehow I
So
think
hard to say.
you know, like brainstorming, trying to explore possibilities and then come up to a decision. But
Yeah, I think they probably have a bunch of prototypes right now of like different story models that people are suggesting internally there, and they'll sort of filter them out and pick their best one. I don't think they've decided yet.
I think I'm looking at two things. Either A, it's going to be like an actual kind of campaign thingy, and I honestly don't think I would be surprised if the game came out like pre-2016.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that we're actually
And
looking into that
then
next, actually.
if it's multiplayer only, however, which I personally think is a possibility.
I don't with Rob there.
I hope not.
Not with Rob there. Rob's a co-op guy.
Yeah.
Then I would say probably 2015, but that's just me.
That's a
Yeah, I
whole
see
lot
it.
of fun
I
over
see
canon.
I personally see like late 2015, like maybe March, April 2016 at the earliest for a release date.
Yeah,
I'm
so
thinking like
that's
third
actually our
quarter,
next topic here.
third quarter
is-
2016.
Next
Yeah.
topic that I have listed here is release date. So my guess is fall 2016.
Yep.
I would go in on that. Yeah.
My reasonings for that is it fits into their normal development cycle time based on how long it took Epic to make their games, and starting
And then-
when Black Tusk got theirs, and also Halo 5
Yeah.
is
I was gonna say that.
2015, and I think Microsoft's going to want something for 2016.
Seems good to me.
So-
Yeah, that's a yeah.
But going off of that and going back just there, because I didn't really answer like the last question. As far as where they are in development now, I don't think they're anywhere. I think they're still drawing and writing and trying to definitely with this next game get a feel of just re-establishing the Gears franchise.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, it's definitely in a dry spell, and they need to like make something really freaking kick ass.
Yep.
It needs to be big. Like people need to go, oh shit, Gears of War! Like it needs to come out of nowhere, and just everyone has to freak out.
Yeah, and one thing that I do hope they do, going to what Krydra just said, I really hope that rather than have a closed playtest, they actually have an open beta several months before release and actually get proper feedback.
A real beta, not a demo.
I was about to say that too. Is like if we could get like a summer beta beforehand, if it was gonna say be fall 2016, then like a summer beta.
Yeah.
That'd be November then.
I would say like spring,
Like,
early.
If they plan on doing like a November release, I would say take in like the month of March, maybe the month of April.
That's what they did for Gears 3.
I'd say that sounds like a good window. I think
They had beta at Easter, and then they released in September.
Let's say that long, maybe a little bit longer between beta and release.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when we saw the changes that the beta for Gears 3 had on Gears 3 itself, there were actually quite a few changes as far as map design and weapon balance that were implemented as a result.
Yep.
which did help. And like I still personally hate Thrashball and Trenches, but like if those maps were the way that they were, oh god.
Yeah. I'm really glad those made it into the beta.
Like if Thrashball is already so top heavy, and if that map didn't have those little added side routes, which don't do much, but if it didn't have
they really
them,
don't
oh
do
my
much.
god.
I mean, if you like Thrashball now, if you take top, those little like the side route on top side is completely and totally useless because you can't go there without getting crossed.
Yep.
Also, just for the love of God, you know what, we'll save that for if we ever have map discussion. I'll just
We can do that next time.
very wide staircases going upwards is a horrible idea.
Alright.
Yeah, like whenever we get closer to like getting more details and they actually like talk weapon balance and what they want to make it like, we can discuss like map changes. But yeah, big wide staircases that end in forever. Bad ideas.
E3 predictions. Do you think there will be anything at E3?
If there is, it can't be much.
Yeah. Not gonna. If there anything, it's gonna be a little bit, very little bit.
Dodger.
Do it.
I mean,
It's gonna be a teaser for a teaser image. That's what.
I mean,
it's gonna be.
they've got like 4 or 5 months of stuff into the game.
Right.
What can they possibly show us?
Dodger and I
Here's
pretty
what
much
we think
agree
it
on
might
that.
look like.
I mean, like, what I think is, my best hope is a title. You know, like with the Black Tusk logo going to a Gears of War logo, and then, Gears of War, whatever their title's going to be. My unrealistic hope is something like the Red Black trailer.
The barrier teeth. Yeah.
Talking about Gears 2. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was gonna bring up. If you
Yeah.
guys remember Barrier Teeth very, very clearly, that was like, it was like 15, 20 seconds long. It had some dialogue, I believe,
Yeah.
and it had the chainsaw duel, and that was it.
That was the only
You gotta
thing
name it.
that it revealed was chainsaw duels. Holy shit, that's awesome.
I don't.
Carmine,
And it was hype. People got pretty damn hype over that trailer, even though it was basically nothing.
Carmine's voice
And,
is
like throwing us off topic just to answer Pope's question. Pope, I don't want to see any maps back. I want to see new maps. I don't
I gotta
want them
go. Back on a second.
I don't want them to try taking old maps for an old game and make it work in a new game.
Except for Grid
I have said this a million times on the forums by now, and I aim to continue saying it. Every time I see a thread, I'm going to say the same thing. I want no remakes at launch. I don't want them spending any time putting old maps into the new game. I want them to focus very hard on actually designing Gears maps.
Yeah.
I think they need to have full time to really focus on what they can do making Gears maps. If they want to do DLC later, sure, maybe. Maybe.
One,
As far as launch,
one
though,
map
I
pack
want
max.
dev time into map.
Like DLC would be like one map pack maximum.
We're talking
I'd want
about
returns.
we're talking about a
flashback map
whole
pack.
new group of people. Whole new group of people. They need to learn how to make these maps.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you're looking at, Gears 1 released let's see, between Gears 1 releasing and this game releasing, assuming it released in 2016, that's what, 8 years? I mean, I don't want to see an 8-year-old map in a, game that people, like, the people that were playing Gears 1 that are our age might not even be playing that game because they've gotten out of that generation gap.
Yeah.
Like, this is a completely new generation of people coming up and starting this game.
This is a bit random. I'm not actually looking at the chat, so if anyone ever does address me, do let me know.
I'll let you know.
But
Yeah.
they think that Mausoleum should come back.
I remember I saw
I
someone
can name a lot of
seriously
maps
post in
that
a
never need
thread.
to come back.
Someone seriously said in a thread that there should be 2 gridlocks.
What?
Someone says that there should literally, not even just one map with a day version and a night version, no, they said there should be 2 versions, one at daytime and one at nighttime, as in, like, whenever a vote comes up for maps, there are 2 gridlocks. I couldn't handle that.
I like a map that would transition from daytime to nighttime, or something like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
So,
I would like that.
Biz, that does a really good job transitioning into the next topic, which is the state of the forums and the topics that we have on there.
Nope, done.
I'll see you later,
So,
Gnashes.
as you can tell, Gnashes is not a fan of this.
A lot of people trying to talk about something that's not there, and talking about things that are already established. There are good things.
There are some good threads.
Obviously. Discussion is good in general, but whenever you don't have focused discussion, it's kind of stupid.
This
Also-
achievement, if you do not stop, I will end you.
Look,
God.
man,
Stop
I
saying
don't
these
understand.
Dream to
Wow.
tears.
I have, and this is going back to what I was just saying about how every single time I see one of these threads, I post the same thing in it. Like, hopefully to get something through to people that this is being talked to death. But please, for the love of God, I understand that, it's kind of a douche move to tell people to, look at the search button or something. And, the fact that they're making a whole bunch of threads, it's like, wow, we have so much traffic, look at all these threads. But when literally, 20% of the threads are talking about, what maps do you want to see in the new game? It's just like, come on, man.
What was it when Rob was saying yeah, the forums are they're alive again or something, like we have 1,400 threads. I'm like 1,300 are from Poseidon.
Oh, man. Yeah, and I think a big thing people need to realize is when you're talking about something, like the double barrel discussion or something, have an open mindset. Don't think that your opinion is right. Other people have opinions and they have good ideas. You should listen to them and try and understand where they're coming from.
Huge problem with the forums has always been is that people need to respect each other a whole lot more.
Everybody love
I don't
everybody.
diss people.
Everybody
Don't
love
diss
Respect
everybody.
people, but I just say when I think something is not cool and when I think something's cool. But you have to respect that there are people out there that think that the sawed-off has a place. I think it does too. I don't really care if it's in the next game.
Me neither.
I'm pretty
Nor do
okay
I.
with it. There's only one gun that I don't like, and it's the retro, really. Just because I feel like it messes with sandbox.
Don't be that guy who comes into a retro discussion thread, quotes everyone that says they use it, and just goes, "You're trash. You're basically terrible at this game."
My biggest pet peeve
Don't be that
recently
guy.
has been the, oh no, that was in Judgment, so we can't have it in the new game.
Yeah.
Don't
You
do
guys,
that because
can't ignore judgment. It happened. It's actually very important that we look at it and understand what happened, why it happened, and that there are good things to take
There are-
from that game.
A
Yeah.
few
Like
good
it,
things.
go into
like discussion, like we mentioned the retro. The Judgment retro is the way the retro needs to be. It was useless at long range. It was really good at close range. That's what the gun is like. That's what the sandbox of that gun is meant to
There are
be.
also people who
It's
say
just-
that
not that way in Gears 3.
It should be like it is in Gears 3. I don't understand why people want that Gnasher. It's insane. That thing is absurd.
No.
The Judgment
you
Gnasher
active
is so
that
nice.
thing.
Without the active though, the active damage.
It's the hard aim buff that's ridiculous. That thing has too much range, man.
Yeah, but between the bad sportsmanship and the misinformation going around on the forums, it's really hard to, like you said, maybe 20% of the threads and discussions are actually quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
People need to do the research too before posting things. Like you
Like,
said,
it's
misinformation is
Testing
terrible.
I have.
like, I hate to say it because I've stuck around through some of the worst times the Epic forums ever saw, which was post beta.
Yeah, we all did.
Forums were bad.
No, Biz left.
And I left like the month of the beta. I really wasn't around. I came back afterwards. I don't know how I survived, but I did. Now I go to the forums and like 3 or 4 threads. I can't stand it anymore. I leave. I figure if there's a worthwhile thread, I'll see someone talk about it on Twitter. I'll be like, okay, I can go contribute to a discussion instead of just wanting to bash someone's skull in
Yeah.
or my own
So-
skull.
I want to say one thing, again, about this continuing off of threads, obviously. When this is to OPs, people who are making threads. Look, like, Rod also said this. Being a forum member is both a blessing, it's a privilege in and of its own self. Like, you are blessed to be able to sit here and talk to other people and to the developers of the thing that you love. And it's also a big responsibility. And so whenever you're making threads, I feel like you should really, like, both appreciate that and actually, like, care for your thread. The thing that I don't get is there are a lot of people who will make a thread and they'll have their OP and it'll just be this grammatical mess. It'll just be like this blob of nothing, and it will literally just basically state an opinion or something, or maybe even not, just say, like, I like this map, it's the best, and that's your thread. And then
never posted
proceed to have other people talk about maps in the thread, and then you yourself will never post in that thread ever again. You will never update your OP. You won't do anything. Actually, like, take care of your threads. Like, that's one of the things that I always make sure that I do. When and if I ever rarely make a thread, I always baby that thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's my thread. I'm going to take care of it.
Same.
I want
I'm
to say
going to
that
appreciate all the people who post in my thread as well, and have a conversation with them and update my OP with their thoughts, and, like, actually make a discussion.
I want to say that as of release, I think that the the universe section is actually doing pretty well. Like, it is not as bad as like the general discussion section is. Ooh. But
Yeah.
I stay in the universe section a lot more than the general one, and it's pretty fine. But again, it's mostly just talking about like story stuff and like
Right.
artwork, fan fiction. So
I think that's okay.
You
So, you know-
always have that most popular section of the forums where people go in and there's
And
all
just-
these garbage threads. I mean, there's some good ones, but there's a bunch of garbage ones. But then you go into the smaller sections, like the universe one, and it's mostly good threads in there.
Pretty much, pretty much, folks. And another thing, this is again to OPs, and I will post this every time I see someone do it in a thread. If you're going to make a poll, and you're going to make a poll asking for people's opinion, do not bias the poll with your own freaking opinion.
Yes.
Don't make a poll going, should the sawed-off be changed from Gears 3? And but your poll options are, no, I use the sawed-off all the time and I get cheap kills, or yes, the sawed-off is a piece of garbage, change it now. That's not how you make a poll.
I mean, we're probably preaching to the choir, because I'm sure the people who actually do this are not watching, but
If you want to make a poll, look at
at
my
least
poll
spread
thread.
this love. Like, we really do care, because we've all been here for a while,
Yeah.
and, like, just try to be nice about it, and just, like, if you make an example even. Like, if you guys have a great idea and you want to make a thread, and that's great, and take care of it, and talk with people. Like, I think that's great. Like, continue having discussion. That's, even if it's about stuff that's been talked to death. But just make your thread, like, really good.
Take care
Like,
of your
act
threads.
like you want to be there, you know?
Yeah, I'm also sick of people posting and making threads just for post count. Like 50 threads in a week, like 2,000 posts in 2 weeks. That's like, come on. Like, this is a beta forum, and I really, really hope they wipe it when it officially launches, or at least close this section. I don't know. I'm just tired of people that just.
Am I the only person who wants them to actually just remove the post count thing?
Yes. Well, I mean,
like, I don't even want it to be visible on post.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would actually be really nice if they removed it.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to throw a share tweet right now. Just be like, so, from the minds of Tac-Com, light post count. Nobody cares.
What is it promoting? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind the post count if you look at your profile and be like, oh,
Yeah,
this person has this
that's
many
cool.
posts.
That's cool. I understand that. I
Yeah.
think that's
Promoting
fine.
it, I'm
Like,
like,
if you look at someone's like profile or your profile, like make it visible there.
yeah.
But the fact that it's visible on your post, so that whenever people see you post, they're like, "Man, look at how much he's posted." Like, I don't understand. Like, put a join date. Put the join date. That's okay.
Yeah.
That lets you know someone has prestige. That's fine.
And that you can't spam or edit.
Yeah, like,
Would-
and you can still keep track of it and stuff. I just don't understand what
On topic
the
of it.
it is, because it's promoting
Other
garbage.
topic because it's related. What do you think about the level system that Black just implemented? Because we had one similar on the Epic forum.
Like level title or something, like get rid of the post count, but like all the levels that they would have had, like you can choose like who you want to be or something like that. That'd be pretty nice.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's
seen
one of the
other-
things that, you know, a general poster isn't allowed to do. They're not allowed to mess with like their little sub-level thingy. It would be cool if you could actually just like unlock and use titles, I guess. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, like on most like I've been like I'm on a bunch of other like forums and stuff like that, and most forums they have that so you can actually put your own thing in there. So you can actually put like or they have a selection of things you can like choose to have
Yeah,
down.
you can do that.
Yeah, and
Don't let it to where people can put in their own thing, 'cause people will put garbage in there. But
Yeah, you're
actually being able to choose from those levels is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I still think that sadly that promotes people boosting nonsense so that they can like, look at my level, I've been posting a lot. I just don't get it. I don't know. It promotes posting, which is fine, but some people are just posting the silliest things. And I mean, I guess they're having fun doing it, and they're all posting in the same thread anyways. So.
I mean, and I've spoken on post count before, and I've also had people like blow up in my face about my post count on the Epic forums. And in my defense, I ended up with a lot of posts on the Epic forums. I averaged like 5 posts a day. I was just there for like 3 years, mastering 10,000 posts. It happens.
Yeah, I had almost like 9,000 overall.
Yeah, I
for a year.
joined in 08, I think. So I was there for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I joined in 2010, and like I said, my average post count per day was like 5 or 6 posts a day. That was it. I just ended up with like 10, 11,000 posts. It happens, but I would never post in useless threads. I would post if I had something legitimate to contribute.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
Speaking of legitimate
it's
stuff
hard
to contribute, check out my poll thread.
Oh,
See, like the poll thread. That poll thread is genius. Like that, you're actually taking care of your thread, which is good.
I'm updating my OP, and the fact that I took like 30 threads and combined them into one.
Yeah, like that's really good. And the fact that people don't see that and then go make another thread about polls that are already in that thread is what really confuses me.
like
Yeah.
I have not. Oh man, I've only made like maybe a handful of threads on the new forum. One of them, which like a few of them were like just discussions and stuff, which pittered out eventually. But no discussions. There aren't endless discussions.
There
but
is
one
a
of the-
really bad discussion as long as it's something.
The only one that I'm keeping track of and making sure is the one where I posted a little like overview and like the whole description of the book, in like the universe section, where it's just like explains the book and like what's in it and stuff like that, just so people know what they're buying and stuff like that. And then
That's cool.
It's a bunch of pages about like just I think it's me, Wiz, Scores, like a bunch of people just discussing like what the contents of the book is and stuff like that, and that's that's mostly what I do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my threads, I made a couple in the technical issues section, just stating some issues. My only 2 threads, though, were my poll thread, which you guys said you liked, and the broadcast thread, which ended up getting close so they could make an official one. But
That was a damn crime. Crime.
That's kind of a good thing for your thread to get closed for when you think about it.
did you see?
Like, hey, this is a really good idea. It's so good that we're actually doing it. So just to let you know.
Did you see my post in the official one though?
Probably
I
not.
had like the third post in the official one, and it was essentially my OP from the other one, where I collected every question out of the thread, anyways.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I
and I think they mentioned you, didn't they?
What?
Didn't someone mention you? So like, we basically just took all Chaps' stuff. Like, didn't they say that in the broadcast?
I didn't hear that. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe
I saw on
think
Twitter you mentioned.
Yeah. No.
and
Jack
They
did.
did dig a lot from it,
Yeah.
and that it was helpful.
Jack said thanks on Twitter for that.
Yeah,
So that's-
so it was so good.
But on the subject of like starting threads, I remade the Seriously 3.0 guide. I remade the Gears 3 XP multiplier thread because someone might want it at some point. Other than that, really the only thread that I've made was mostly a product of curiosity, which is why do people rage quit all the time?
Yeah.
Which
That's all right.
actually kept relatively active. Like people came
Yeah,
in and
people
kind of talked
actually
about
had
stuff, and
civil
we talked
discussion.
about stuff. And so it went. You know, we actually like tried some stuff. I don't know. It was pretty interesting.
Yep. All right. Is there
Kinda
anything else you guys
basically
want?
talked about mindset.
Anything else you guys want to talk about on here?
On the podcast or just in general?
Sid, did your posters ever show up?
Was that from Pope? Is that Pope asking
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
No. Wait, did you send them? And then I'm gonna wait for that reply.
Yeah. Well. All right. If the chat has any questions, go ahead and ask them now, because there's a good delay.
I have a segment.
Go, Sid. Go. Oh, Sid's
Alright.
story time.
It's my time. My
That's
turn
Sheffy.
in the spotlight. Everyone else. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, so, what's it called? First of all, I'm not shilling or anything, but I want to promote the book. This book. Wait. That's just gonna.
The camera's gonna be terrible for this.
Yeah.
What book is it?
There you go. It's the Gears of War Judgment Kilo Squad Survivor's Log. It's and the only reason I'm promoting this is because it's a really good book, and I would recommend it. That if you can buy it, you read it because it's roughly like $25, like $30. It's pretty much Baird's journal that he kept from when he started, when he first became a gear, up to up to the end of Judgment, and this book is essentially what Judgment could have been. Could have been this, and this book is fantastic. And after reading this book a couple times, I feel like the writers, which is Rob and Tom for Judgment, it feels like Epic shafted them pretty hard on the story. Like, Rob was the one who wrote this book, and he also wrote the Judgment campaign. After reading this, there's a lot of stuff in here that could have made the Judgment campaign phenomenal. Like, talking about, like, this book makes Sophia's character looks way better than she was portrayed in the campaign. Okay, bye. Bye now. Bye.
Bye, Gnashes!
I'm putting the snub pencil back on the dresser drawer.
It just makes everything, like, it explains, like, why Baird was promoted, it explains why Loomis originally hates him, and, like, you know, it just feels like Epic decided to take their story that they wrote, chop it up, and then condense it to make what was essentially Judgment.
I feel
And
like there were a lot of issues with Judgment that probably will never really be brought to light as far as just the whole game's actual development is concerned.
So, I do have one question. The book is basically Judgment Campaign unabridged?
it's pretty much Judgment done right.
It's basically Gears of War story as it should be told via a novel as opposed
So-
to in a video game.
And
If I read it, I could get the highlights without actually having to play the game.
yeah, pretty much.
You just don't want to play it.
Yes, I'm gonna go
This
buy
book
it.
pretty much explains almost everything that happens in the game. And there's some parts missing, but it pretty much explains everything. And it's a journal. It's like you open it and there's like paper clippings attached to pages. There's like Baird's like his soldier ID card is in there. There's like a Coltrane's trading card, like a bunch of just like
So,
scraps.
comes with
and
swag
stuff.
in it?
Yeah, like it just comes with a bunch
Cool.
of scraps and stuff that like you would see in like a regular like person's journal,
That's pretty cool.
and like newspaper clippings, and it's actually really good. So buy this book and stop saying Judgment Campaign sucks. This is Judgment's campaign.
Oh,
Everyone. Yeah.
since I tweeted it, Cher's reply to the post thing is no, get over it.
Sure, please.
Oh,
we
she
were
said
buddies.
her reply verbatim is no, not sure why people care so much about someone's count or why people get offended when someone calls out their count. People need to get over it. Oh.
And Chaps, we have a question in the
There,
chat.
so they're going to fight over because they're Gears players.
What do you guys think about dual wield pistols?
No!
That's why I didn't bring up pistol and my pistol, because
Okay,
Okay.
the snub pistol is already like the best gun in Gears 3. We don't need two of them.
So I posted this in the thread. I feel it could be done right and it could be balanced, but I would not want to see it.
as long as it's not like Gears 3 snub pistol where 4-shot active downs you,
Well,
yes.
And so after talking to some of the QA guys, I found out why the Boltok was removed from the Armored Cantus and Beast. Imagine
Cool.
dual-wielding Boltoks. You aim at their chest, fire twice. First one hits them in the chest. The kick brings it up to their head, and it pops their head.
I thought that was why they removed them, because of the headshots, because being able to headshot people in Beast would be ridiculously overpowered.
Right, that's why they removed it, because you could body shot, the kick would bring it up to a headshot. And,
Yeah, which is also why you don't have the Theron, you don't have a sniper.
right.
Yeah, because they would be ridiculous. That's everything in Beast is really like in your face, which is actually what I liked about the game mode. It was really, you had to be so aggressive, which was fun.
Okay. Were there any other questions, Doctor?
No. Just
Another thing I
yeah.
want to say about the double pistol though is that it's really hard, or it's a lot hard, I'll say, to balance when you incorporate dual wielding, because you have to try to balance when you have one and when you have two, and especially I could see that being a real problem in Gears, because if two is what you need, then having one is always going to be useless,
Sort
and
of
if one
like-
is okay, then two's OP.
It's like the Needler in Halo 2.
Exactly.
Wow, that was so awesome.
Hey, we,
I would go-
Needler was the
I
way to
would go
go.
this far.
They
I
were-
would totally get behind dual wielding Gorgons, even though it's completely illogical and there's no way in hell anyone would actually be able to reload two dual mag weapons. Being able to dual wield Gorgons would be pretty badass, because that pistol already sucks and it's already only really pickup only, so you might as well. Because
Yeah,
I just feel like being able to bullet hose people with it would be pretty awesome.
yeah.
But yeah,
Make it to where you
Pistol
can like
discussion.
John Woo people and shoot them while you're rolling. Oh hell yeah!
That's
this,
right.
this pistol discussion has been a fun discussion, like fun topic. We've been playing ranked execution on Gears 3 pretty heavily for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Why did no one ever say that the snub pistol was OP before? Because damn, it is OP.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it's very frustrating from me because I like to try to use the hammer burst, and it's kind of a pain in the ass whenever everyone spawns with a better one.
I mean, do you remember Gears 1? Everyone switched to pistol at spawn.
Yes.
Yeah, because fuck using the Lancer, because it was already kind of dumb, and you could just spray snowballs at people.
And you could dome people.
Yeah.
Pop heads with the snub.
I missed that about Gears 1. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Alright, well, I think we're gonna wrap
Kid
things
just on the
up.
trigger and backing up and get a headshot.
I have a list of things here that I want to say.
Oh, okay, go Sid.
Chaps was about to say that.
This
Go,
is
Sid,
essentially
go.
just some what's it called? Some stuff that behind the scenes stuff. And just because I've been talking to I email the Gears writers every now and then, like Rob, Josh, not Karen. Karen doesn't answer my emails. But,
That's great.
But
Josh Ortega, Master Life.
yeah, so talking to them, a couple of things. Like one of them was for Rom Shadow. Like you guys might have heard this. I might have said this already somewhere, but I'm gonna say it again. Originally, Kim wasn't gonna be the main leader of the squad. It was already gonna be Harper from Gears 2's collectibles and like the Gears comic. He was gonna be the main person, but The writers.
They wanted to make your joke.
Yeah, the writers decided because the fans really liked Kim and because Rom was going to be there, to have Kim in there instead. So that's why Harper got kicked out and Kim got put in.
Mira is a
Originally-
rift worm.
Why couldn't they, do that, but then kick Jace out, put Harper there?
Jace was in there also because because Josh explained to me because he related to the comics and the same comic that Barrick was in, and that's why. But also his explanation for why, because in the comic, it just reading the interaction between the two, it feels like they have no idea who each other is, even though they've met in Rom Shadow. His explanation was that because Jace got older, he now looks a bit different, and that Barrick didn't catch on at first or recognize him. Yeah, it's a really weak explanation. That's the best it's gonna get, and it's gonna satisfy me, so it doesn't break canon.
Canon.
Originally, early talks for Rom Shadow was gonna have Clay as be one of the main characters as recruit Clay, but that idea was scrapped pretty early because they already were happy with the cast they had, which was Valera, Barrick, Ty, and apparently Kim. There's even some concept art where when Rom Shadow released, they had that big full image where it showed Barrick in the front, and then Ty, and then Valera, and then the Reavers and everything in the destroyed city. In the back where Kim is supposed to be is actually Recruit Clay standing there, and that was the piece was actually done by Chris Wells, who is one of the character designers over at Epic. So I found that and that was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
In Gears 2, when when you get, it's midway through the New Hope facility when you get the Scorcher, and there's that whole conversation between Dom and Marcus about how Ben would have loved the Scorcher because he liked fire so much, even though nowhere through the campaign Ben said anything about liking fire at all or mentioning it.
Yeah.
Apparently, what happened was, early on in the tutorial stage, after you chucked the nade in the parking lot and you went up there, Ben was supposed to go on a rant about how he loved playing with fire, and just go on a rant about how he played with fire all the time as a kid, and it was supposed to be like the whole section up there was supposed to be that kind of a rant and Ben joking about that kind of, but apparently was accidentally taken out of the script, so that's why that quote never actually makes any sense. Yeah.
We accidentally removed it, kind of like how we accidentally moved Anthony.
Yeah, I always thought that was BS.
In Gears 3, polyps were initially designed to, when there was I don't know, it's just as a group, when there was a group of them, they would come together and Voltron style fuse together to create a giant
What?
creature. Yeah, that's what they were initially meant to do, so
Cool!
I thought that was hilarious.
Go Polyp Rangers!
And then, lastly, this one is really obscure, but if you really like the story and read the comics, you might enjoy this. In the first comic of the Baron issues, which is the one where Alex is first introduced, she's with another character from her squad, which is Foxtrot, and he has a scar going right across, right underneath his nose above his lip. And it's never said what that character's name is. He's never referred to. No one's mentioned it anywhere. And I asked Josh about it because, damn, if I wanted to know what that character's name was. And apparently his name is Vince. It's in the script, but it was never accidentally put in the story. So that's all I got.
Wait, Sid, you forgot Mira is a riftworm who was frozen
Oh, yeah.
and resurrected.
He's actually a riftworm.
That was an amazing
Adam
troll.
Phoenix,
but
retro phone.
Adam Phoenix,
Retro phone.
Have you emailed anyone about that, Sid?
Chat. What is
Yeah.
your opinion? Retro or phone?
I think I voted phone on that, but I can't remember.
I
Sid,
wanted.
you need to make some emails.
Okay. I have. I PM'd. Originally, I have. I do have this giant document here on my computer. It's actually sitting on my screen right now, which is just a huge culmination of questions. These questions, the things I told you right now, I asked Josh a little while ago, but it was a small group because I didn't know like if he would be willing to answer them. And after like his replies to all this stuff, he's a really chill guy. Like Josh and Rob are two of the most like nicest guys ever, and they'll answer any of your questions that they can. Like there's some stuff where it's like, they can't really answer that because for reasons, but if they can answer it, they'll totally answer it. Yeah, well, Epic says no, or well, since. What
are the locust origins?
What's it called? Jovis asked that question to Karen and Josh. Like Josh just kind of like said, "Oh, you like kind of just like hand waved it off." Karen actually explained it, but she said because like she said there were she put hints through everywhere, but you might not like the explanation. So he has a post in your section in his theory thread or whatever. He has posts that like he has emails from Karen showing that stuff. But you might, if you have your own specific theory, you might not want to see it. But yes, I have.
Basically,
a giant thing.
There isn't one.
Well, there is, but not that good. Anyways, I was going to send it to Jim, or actually I was going to send it to Josh originally. But then Josh said that he wasn't sure about some stuff, so he actually resent that same thing to Jim. And Jim Brown said, yeah, he would answer this stuff. But so I wanted to redo like the questions and stuff like that before I sent it to him. And by that time, Gears was already bought by Microsoft, and Black Tusk had it. So I didn't know if it was still appropriate for Jim to answer the questions because he's not affiliated with the Gears franchise anymore.
Yes, it is.
So I know, I still want to send it to him.
It's always appropriate.
I actually PM'd on the forums. I PM'd Rob, and I asked him, and I was like, "Hey, can I ask Jim this stuff, or would it be okay if I sent this list to you, and if you can answer this stuff?" And he's like, and he did say that that they're not affiliated, so like Jim and like Josh aren't really affiliated with Gears at the moment, so they don't know what's going to happen in the future, so they can't really answer those questions. And he said he would probably. Then he wanted me to send the list to Jack, but he didn't. He worded it weirdly, as in he was gonna have Jack answer the questions, but I don't know if she knows the answers to these questions. These are pretty obscure questions that
I feel like it's we don't know what the hell they're gonna actually write in the next game, so if we answered it, we might be telling you spoilers.
No, there's no way that this is gonna spoil anything. Like,
I don't know, man. There might be a ripworm.
Examples. One of them was like, what are all the months in the Syrian calendar?
Oh, okay.
We have what, 5 or 6 of those from the novels?
Yeah, but there's not all of them.
It's not all of them.
I would like to have all of them. So
they probably don't exist.
And then there's like stuff like, in the comics, there are a bunch of characters like drawn and stuff like that, but they're never named or like, so I can't make pages for them on the Wikipedia. So because they're unnamed characters, I can't make a page for them if they don't have a name. So I was gonna ask him, do all these people have names and stuff like that? And there's one in particular that I really want to ask, and I was gonna ask Travis this, but he's not responding, which was in one of the comics, which is the one where it's Promise Me, which is the one where it's like right on like the last day of the Pendulum Wars with Marcus and them. There is a squad of Gears behind cover. They need help, and they request help, and they test the Hammer of Dawn for the first time and destroy UIR ship. It shows the reaction of all the Gears, and it's like just some like general guy with a radio, a bunch of Gears with helmets, and then one Asian guy. There's one Asian guy there, and I think it's Kim. We all think it's Kim on the thing, but there's no proof.
Just because he's Asian.
How many other Asians are there?
There's a racist
that we know of.
Jeez, take it easy.
There is no Asia in Terra.
Just because he's Asian, you gotta know what his name is.
Anyway, that's my rant. I'm good.
Alright, so we're gonna start
our Sid segment.
Yeah, we're gonna start to wrap things up. I guess we will be back next week to talk about a bunch of different stuff on the threads, like probably maps, balancing, mechanics, things like that.
Yep.
If there's any info. and then we'll take a break for a while, for a few weeks after that, until there's another info drop.